Good afternoon and welcome to my yoga class. My name's Julie White and I'm going to be taking you through a 60-minute general Hatha yoga class. I hope you enjoy. Namaste. So let's begin by just connecting with our breath. Sit in an easy cross-legged position, whichever feels most comfortable for you. And if you want, you can also sit on some cushions or a block if you're feeling a little bit tight in your hips. And once you're comfortable, we'll put our fingers in Chin Mudra. That's our index fingers and our thumbs joining together. And we're going to take some deep breaths just to bring us back to the present moment, just to disconnect from the world around us. So taking a deep breath in, filling up our bellies. You can even put your hand on your belly, feel it filling up the middle of our chest, all the way up to the top of our chest. Hold for a second and then exhaling slowly through our nose. Pushing the last of that air all the way up by pushing our belly in. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can have your eyes closed to help you disconnect from the world outside. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Sitting up nice and straight, rolling our shoulders back, keeping the back of our knees and back of our neck long. We're just going to do some circles. If you just take an exhale as we go to our right, so we'll make that our left, rolling forward. Exhale as you come back round. Nice big circles just to loosen up your hips and your waist and your spine, all the way around at your own pace. Just do one more in this direction. And exhaling. And as we get round to the left, let's take it in the other direction. Feeling like we're just a great big tub of water, nice and smooth and relaxed, all the way around in a great big circle, loosening up our bodies and coming up to sit up straight again. And let's take a big inhale, stretching up, up, up to the sky. And then as we exhale, placing our hands down to the left and stretching over, giving ourselves lots of space in our side and our ribs. If we exhale, the inhales will take care of themselves. So if you exhale all the air out, stretching our ribs, and then take an inhale all the way up, and then exhale down to our right, stretching all the way over, turning our ribs up towards the ceiling, trying to stretch our heart up to the sky, and then inhaling, coming back up, and this time just using our waist, turning to our left, and as we get round, putting our left hand down on the ground, right hand on our knee, Just take an inhale and stretch up. And then as we exhale, let's just do a simple twist to begin with. Starting to feel our body loosening up. Maybe we've been sitting down all day at a desk, driving our cars, hunched over a computer, inhaling, coming back up, and our body's just crying out for a nice stretch. Right arm down to the floor behind you, left hand on your knee, exhale. Every time you inhale, stretch up high, and then exhaling, twisting around. Remember, we only go as far as our body allows us, just to that point where it feels like stretching up, it feels good, and it feels like we're giving ourselves a stretch. Exhale down, hands down to the floor. Okay, let's turn around and get into tabletop position. That is, we're down on our hands and knees. Our hands are directly under our shoulders. Our fingers are nice and spread, and we've got our toes tucked, and our knees are directly under our hips. So our weight is evenly distributed throughout our hands and our knees. I'm going to go through a few cat-cows as we take a deep breath in, breathing in, looking up, opening our heart up to the sky. That's our heart chakra. It's our anahata. And then exhaling, angry cat. Maybe we can pull in our mula bandha, pull up our pelvic floor while we're doing this. And then inhaling, looking up to the sky. And then exhaling, angry cat, pulling up our pelvic floor, our mula bandha. Inhale, stretching up, up, up. Exhaling. Again, think of your body like water. Your pelvis has got a big bowl of water in it, and it's just a smooth flow. Nice and gentle, nice and relaxed. We're opening up our sacral chakra. It's orange. We're filled with that orange liquid through our pelvis, and it's pulling back and forth as we're loosening up through that area. Let's come to a neutral spine, nice straight back, and we're going to stretch back into our first downward dog. That's Adho Mukha Savasana. That's stretching back. Because it's our first downward dog, we're going to pedal our feet out. Bend your knees and stretch your bottom up to the sky so you get a nice stretch through your back. And then you're slowly unbending your knees. It doesn't matter if your heels don't reach the ground. It's much more important that we have our weight evenly distributed between our hands and our feet. We have weight in the knuckles of our fingers. Our hands, our index fingers and our tall man are facing the front. Our knuckles are pressed down, and we've got our neck nice and relaxed. We're stretching back, pulling up through the quads. Perhaps stretch your toes up just to activate your quads. And then stretching back and relaxing, taking 3 deep breaths. Through our nose. And then looking forward to your fingers. I just want you to walk slowly up between your feet and then hanging down in Uttanasana. You can bend your knees if you want to. Maybe have your hands, the back of your hands flat on the ground. Just relax. Let your head relax and just let all of that stress core out of the ground, out of your head, sorry, down into the floor. And then we're just going to ragdoll our way all the way up to Tadasana. Roll our shoulders back. Beautiful. So looking down at our feet, making sure that they're about hip distance apart. You can spread out your toes, lift them up, plant them back down, lift up through the arches of your feet, making sure that all four corners of the feet are grounding down into the earth. The earth is supporting you. It's lifting you up. It's giving you the support that you need on a day-to-day basis. So lifting up through your quads, making sure that your pelvis is tucked, your shoulders are back of your neck is long, hands open to the front and stretch down, and take a deep breath in, and then lifting up into mountain pose, breathing all the way up, stretching up, up, up towards the sky. Your feet are grounded into the earth, or your hands are reaching towards the sky. And then we're going to exhale, wings out, flying down to the ground, back down to Uttanasana, Ardha Uttanasana, where we're lifting up, putting our body in the shape of a number 7. Exhaling, letting our fingers touch the ground. And just want to lift up our heels, and then we're going to curl up, crouch and curl. Take a deep breath in. Feel that down the back of your spine. And then exhale, Uttanasana, and then inhale all the way up. Hands down between in your heart. Deep breath in. I'm just going to do that 2 more times and create a little bit of a flow just to warm up. Breathing in to mountain pose. Exhale down to the floor. Breathing in halfway. Exhale, lifting your heels, crouching, curling. Breathing in. Exhale, straighten your legs, Uttanasana. Breathing in all the way up to mountain pose. Exhale, Samasisti. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lifting your heels, crouch and curl, deep breath in. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands up to the sky. Exhale, Samastiti. We're just going to go through Surya Manaska A. We're just going to do the beginner's version of that. So just follow along. We're just going to take another mountain pose. Exhale, flowing down to the floor. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Place your knees on the ground, toes together, knees apart, and stretch back into Balasana, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, place your right foot between your hands, runner's lunge, and look up to the sky, stretch your heart up. Exhale, left leg beside your right foot. Uttanasana, and stretching up. hands to your heart. We'll just do the other side to finish. Inhale, stretching up, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Take a step back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the floor. Open your knees, toes together. Exhale, stretch back into Balasana. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, stretch back into downward facing dog. Place your left foot between your hands. Stretch your head up to the sky. Exhale, right foot beside your left. Mountain pose. Exhale. Take a breath. Beautiful. We should be feeling warmed up now, so we're going to move into some standing poses. So I thought to begin with, we might do tree pose or Vikonasana. So we're going to stand and we're going to look at what we call a drishti, which is a point in front of us, and we're not going to take our eyes off it. So pick something obviously that's not moving around, and we're just going to stand with our feet about hip distance apart and just start to put your weight on your left foot. And feel nice and grounded. Feel how firm that is and how supported that is. And then reaching down to our, so we'll make that our right leg, reaching down to our left ankle. And you can either place this here on your calf or here up towards your groin. The only place that I wouldn't put it is on your knee joint, because that won't be good. So once you've got a nice firm, and it doesn't matter if you move around, get 4 down 7 times, you get up 8. It's all part of yoga. That's why it's called yoga practice and not yoga perfect. So once we've got a nice firm stance, we can place our hands in front of our heart, and then when we're feeling confident, we can stretch our hands up to the sky like a nice tall tree. If you're feeling really confident, you can open up your arms and maybe be a tree blowing in the wind. Beautiful. Let's exhale. Let's grab hold of that foot and place it down beside the right foot. If you want, you can give them both a nice little shake, because now we're going to go and move on to the other side. So now we're putting our weight into our left leg. So let's put a little bit of weight in, play with it, make sure it feels nice and grounded. And then again, look at that point in front of you. Pick that little drishti spot. That is what's going to help concentrate your mind. So reach down, grab the ankle of your right leg, and again we can place our feet anywhere that we feel comfortable. It's where your body is today. This is your yoga practice. So once we're feeling nice and firm and grounded, feeling like our hips are both facing forward, we can take our hands to our heart and then slowly stretch our tree all the way up to the sky. We're growing every day. We're growing in so many different ways. Our hearts are growing, our minds are growing, our souls are growing. And this is a beautiful pose which shows exactly what's happening as we take our journey through life. Exhaling taking our hands back to our hearts and then placing our feet on the ground and giving our legs a little shake. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to move into our standing postures. So we're going to be going through a series of flows, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that we can do our vinyasa. So as we're doing a vinyasa is a flow, and during that flow there's a couple of different ways that we can do it depending on where you're at today. So to begin with, we'll go through our first Chaturanga Dandasana, and I'll give you a couple of different ways of doing that because we'll be doing that between poses at different times. So it might be that you do one way and one the other the next, depending on how your body is going at the time. So again, feet hip distance apart, nice and flat on the ground. Okay, we're going to stretch all the way up, mountain pose. And this time we're going to take our hands through our heart, bending forward. Uttanasana. Let's touch the ground. Starting to feel a little bit more warmed up now. Let's bend our knees a little bit, stretch out the back of our legs. Take some deep breaths. And then stretching up into our Ardha Uttanasana. Going back down. And then we're just going to step back into a plank pose. Now, with our plank, we're going to have our heels stretch back towards the back of the room. Our hands are going to be spread out directly underneath our shoulders. Our tummy is going to be pulled up, so we're using our core muscles. And our shoulders are going to be down and relaxed. Now, if you're finding this too hard, it's also important that the back of our neck is straight so that we're maintaining good posture. This is a great exercise for the whole of your body. If you're finding this too hard, we can just drop our knees and do a low plank. So whichever one you choose is fine. Either way, we're going to start to bend our elbows. And when we get about halfway, we're either going to turn our toes over and stretch up into upward facing dog, Uddha Mukha Savasana, and then stretch back into downward facing dog. Now the other way of doing that is from what I call a low plank. Again, bend, and then we're just going to stretch up into a cobra. Bhaganasana. So if you want to know, with the cobra, make sure that your feet are together. And just to check that you're using your back muscles, take your hands off the floor and just stretch up so that we're not relying totally on our shoulders or our arms to lift us. So you've got choices in how you do our Chaturanga Dandasana. Okay, so once we get back up, we'll all meet here in downward facing dog. I just want you to put your left foot forward between your hands. Your back foot is going to be at a 45-degree angle, and your heels are going to be in line, and then we're going to stretch all the way up into Warrior One. Such a beautiful pose. Now we can use our hands to make sure that our hips, as much as possible, are facing forward. So this might feel a little bit difficult, but making sure that that back leg, the outside of the foot, is still stretching down onto the ground. And then once you feel like, or also that your front knee is going to be directly over your ankle and not in front of it. Once you feel like you've got that, you can stretch all the way up. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go into Warrior Two. This back foot is going to turn around at a 90-degree angle. The front heel is going to be in line with the arch of the back foot. And then we're going to bend again as much as we can at a right angle, knee over our ankle, and making sure that this knee isn't pulling forward but is stretching back over that foot. And again, we're going to stretch our arms, shoulders down, nice and relaxed, facing forward. And again, our weight is distributed evenly between our 2 feet. 3 deep breaths. Getting a bit of sweat up, I certainly am. Now we're going to do an extended side angle. What we can do here is place our left hand onto the top of the leg, that's bending, and we're going to stretch our right arm up to the ceiling, stretching all the way up like you're reaching for something that you want, one of your goals, one of your dreams. It's up there and you're reaching for it, but your legs are firmly rooted to the ground so that you have security while you're chasing your dreams. Okay, 3 deep breaths. Excellent. Let's come up. And this time we're going to straighten that front leg. And let's just bring that back leg in about half a foot, 6 inches, 15 centimeters. Again, hands out, parallel to the ground, shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to stretch and reach forward. And when we can't reach any further, we're going to come down into triangle pose or Trikonasana. Well, what we're doing here is we're, as much as possible, we're having our hips stacked on top of each other, our shoulders stacked on top of each other. We can be looking to the front, or we can be looking up to our hand, whatever feels comfortable for our neck today. Don't overdo it if it's hurting. And this front foot, it can be on a block if you need it to be on a block. But just don't put it on your knee. Never put any weight on your knee joint. Okay, 3 deep breaths. Beautiful. Okay, let's bend that front knee again. And this time we're going to go into reverse warrior. Right leg stretching back down on your leg, and then over we go. Feel all that space being created down the left-hand side of your body. Okay, look up to your hand and 3 deep breaths. Great. Okay, as we come up this time, we're going to put both feet facing the front, legs parallel, feet parallel, arms out to the side, and we're just going to put our hands and clasp them behind our back and stretch those shoulders down. Beautiful little shoulder stretch here. Deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to bend forward and stretch down as if we're going to stretch our heads down to the floor. Now, some of you may be able to do that. I can't. But we're going to stretch our hands up to the sky and beyond to the floor. And take some beautiful deep breaths in And just feel that tension starting to leave your shoulders. Again, don't go beyond what feels good for you. Just go to that point where you start to feel like you're stretching. And then millimeter by millimeter, as we exhale, we'll start to create some space in our bodies. Our bodies carry so much stress and emotion that just by doing these asanas, we start to move some of that emotion. And that's really what we're doing. We're giving ourselves some time to breathe and relax and allow all those emotions that have built up in our day-to-day lives to start moving through our body. And that's why doing yoga sometimes can be quite an emotional experience, and that's absolutely normal. It's actually a good thing. Okay, let's put our hands on our hips and then slowly coming up. We're just going to cartwheel our way down to the floor. Let's step back into either high plank or low plank and go through our Chaturanga Dandasana in any way that you see fit. Or if you like, if you don't want to do that, upward facing dog. Exhale, we'll just meet you back here in downward facing dog. Let's do a couple of deep breaths in. Okay, this time we're going to put our right foot up between our hands. Left foot, 45-degree angle, both the heels are lined up. And come up, maybe just put your hands on your knees to start with. And let's just make sure that our hips are facing the front and that the back of our back foot is stretching down, weight evenly divided between our feet, nice and grounded, knees over our ankles and not beyond. Once we feel comfortable, we stretch up, up, up. Beautiful. 3 deep breaths. Such a beautiful pose. Strong but calm, which is really our aim in life, I guess, to be strong but calm. Okay, excuse my back as we extend ourselves into Warrior Two. So back foot at 90 degrees, heels lined up with the arch of the back foot, knee making sure that it is pushed, it's back, it's not going inwards, so push it back if you have to, knee over the toe, hips facing the front, arms stretched out, shoulders relaxed, and let's breathe. This pose is something to remember when you start to become discouraged with your goals. Remember how strong this pose is. Okay, we're now going to do extended side angle. Right arm on your knee. And again, now we're stretching up, grabbing our dreams with our left hand. We can either look forward, we can look up to our hands. 3 deep breaths. Fantastic. Let's come back up to Warrior Two. Straighten that front leg. Let's bring the back leg in slightly. And this time we're going to stretch forward. We're grabbing what we want. And then we're coming down into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, put your hand either on a block, a stack of books, whatever you have. Hands on your ankles, making sure that our ribs are turning up to the sky. Try and stack your shoulders and your hips. Stretch that front quad up. Feet nice and evenly distributed weight. 3 deep breaths. And coming back up to warrior 2. Now we're going to do reverse warrior. Left arm traveling down that back leg and then stretching back, creating that space again in that side of your body. Feels so good because we never, we're often scrunched over. One last breath. And then coming back up. I'm just going to turn and face you. And again, we're going to have our legs nice and wide apart. Maybe have your toes a little bit pigeon-toed this time. It's going to stretch a slightly different part of your body. Hands on your hips. And let's slowly come down, bending at the waist. And then we're going to put our hands down on the floor in front of you, nice and firmly. Have your left arm, or your right arm, sorry, underneath your shoulder. Take a big inhale and then exhale. Let's rotate the left arm up to the sky. Another breath. Feel that beautiful twist. And then exhale. Come back down. Take an inhale. Exhale. Take your right arm, hand, and reach it up, up, up. Beautiful cleansing twist. Cleansing all those organs, wringing them out, detoxifying, creating some energy for you. And then inhale, back down, hands on the hips, and come all the way up to standing. Turn and face the front of the mat, and this time we're just going to step forward. Feet hip distance apart. Actually, let's put our feet mat distance apart and have our ankles slightly turned in. And we're just going to go down into a squat. So if you can't do this, that's fine. Perhaps you can have some bolsters underneath you to sit on. Or you can keep your heels off the ground if that feels more comfortable. I'm just going to do a couple of deep breaths. This is a really great stretch for your inner thighs and also your lower back as well. We're now going to go down into our sitting poses. You may be fooled into thinking that sitting down on the ground might be a little bit easier. It will be enjoyable. There will be some challenges there as well. So let's just sit back. Just put ourselves back to the back of the mat. And put your legs out in front of you. Make sure that you're sitting up nice and straight. Now, if you can't sit up straight, if you have really tight hamstrings or a tight lower back, it's okay to actually have your knees bent, or perhaps if you've got a strap, that might also be helpful in doing the next pose. So that is a sitting forward bend over your feet. So what we want to do is keep our feet active and making sure that our little toes are stretching back as well as our big toes, and you can even have your ankles slightly off the floor. So again, we're going to stretch up, 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 all the way up to the sky, and then we're going to slowly start stretching forward. Now, maybe this is as far as you get. Again, try not to put your hands on your knees, Maybe you're touching your calves, your shins, your ankles, or maybe you're reaching your feet. But just want you to make sure that I want you to inhale, I want you to straighten your back, and then exhale, maybe just move a little millimeter forward. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, stretching down. Creating some space in your lower back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, stretch down. Inhale, stretch up. And this time we're going to hold wherever we are. Relax your head. And just breathe into your lower back, into the back of your hamstrings. If it's starting to hurt, back off. This is actually a really relaxing pose. It helps to still your mind. And really create some space again in those parts of the body that our modern day life often, I guess, stuffs up, so to speak. The things that we have to do in our normal work day involve a lot of sitting usually, or standing on high heels. Really not great for our body in the long term. So use this time to stretch out and get your body back to where it's supposed to be. So just slowly roll up as we're exhaling. Roll our shoulders back. Oh, that feels really nice. And we might give our lower back a little twist after that. Actually, before we do that, let's bring our left leg into our groin. I just want you to stretch up, 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 up. And this time we're going to go over our right leg only. So just make sure that your body is, as much as you can, square on over your right foot. And then exhale down. Three deep breaths. Again, we're hanging on to wherever we can reach. It's not a competition, it never is. And then slowly rolling up. And swap sides. Jalasarasana. Okay, let's put our right leg up high against our groin. Make sure that our left foot is flexed and active. And then stretch up, up, up. And then exhale over our foot. Come as far as you can, as far as feels good for you. And then using our exhales to relax. So breathe in and stretch. Exhale, relax. Even if you're just getting a tiny millimeter, you're still getting a stretch. And that is perfect. And now we're going to slowly roll ourselves back up. And then we're going to go into Baddha Konasana. So again, you might want to sit on something, so raise yourself off the floor if this doesn't feel comfortable for you. Whatever works for you. You can even have pillows under your knees if you've got really tight around your groin area or your inner thighs aren't stretching. So you can have your feet together, and again, according to how flexible you are, your feet can be further out or further in. And first of all, I just want you to grab your ankles, pull your shoulders back and sit up nice and straight, and just practice flapping those butterfly wings. This will help, again, just very, very gently, help to warm up and stretch out that groin area. Taking deep breaths. And then when you're ready, maybe grab onto your toes. Another deep breath in, stretch up, up, up. And then exhale down to the ground. And again, just go down as far as you can. You could even have a bolster or a pillow, something for your head to rest on if that feels better. This is all about relaxing into the pose. You can take some deep breaths while we're here. Beautiful. Slowly, slowly, slowly roll yourself up. And then let's stretch our legs out in front of us again. Give them a little shake. And this time I want you to bend your right knee and place it over your left. So that's about in line with the top or the bottom of your thigh there, just above your knee. And then I want you to stretch your right arm up, up, up to the sky. And then place that behind you. And then with your left hand, you can hook that in behind your knee. Take an in-breath, stretch up, and then exhale and twist. Again, inhale, stretch up, exhale and twist. Inhale, stretch up, exhale and twist. Slowly come to the front, and then we'll just do a little counter twist briefly. And we're just going to do the other side. So let's bend our left knee and place it over our right leg, foot up against the outside of that thigh. Left arm stretching up, up, up to the ground, to the sky. Place it behind us. Let's hook our right arm around the outside of our left knee. Inhale, exhale and twist. Inhale, exhale and twist. Inhale, exhale and twist. You might be able to feel a great stretch here just at the outside of your hips and buttocks. Great for stretching that area. Let's just do a little counter twist. Fantastic. Okay, let's just roll down on our mat. So let's put our feet up against the end of the mat. And I just want you to slowly roll down. Use those tummy muscles. Use our core to roll down with control. And then we're just going to do a bridge pose. So with the bridge, I just want you to bend your knees. Have your feet reasonably close to your buttocks, but not quite touching them. Have your hands down and maybe just tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. And have your knees pointing forward, not splaying out. Okay, so when you're ready, take a deep breath, lift up through your hips. Make sure your knees stay pointing to the front. And then if you can, perhaps clasp your hands underneath your body. Gives you a lovely shoulder stretch. Now, it's really important that we don't move our neck. So at the moment, our throat chakra we're getting a fantastic flow of energy there into our throat because it's locked in. Take some deep breaths. You can be able to feel that in your throat, that breathing. And then I want you to slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, come back down, all the way down till the whole of our spine is on the ground. We might just do that one more time. So when you're ready, again, lifting your hips up, up, up to the sky, tucking those shoulders under, clasping your hands, keeping that neck nice and protected, nice and still, and taking 3 deep breaths. You can really feel our bellies filling up with air like big balloons. It's beautiful. And now let's roll back down. I just want you to grab your knees and do some little circles. Circle around on the mat, feel nice and relaxed. We might move into happy baby. Let's put our feet up to the sky. Put our arms through the inside of our legs and grab the outside of our feet. And try and press your lower back into the ground. Now with this you can keep still or roll back and forth. You can really feel this stretching through your groin and your hips. This shows you how amazingly naturally flexible babies are when they're born. Because this is a pose that they do just when they're feeling good. And the more we do it, the happier our hips are, and so we can feel good too. Great. Okay, let's do a supine stretch now. Let's place our legs down, stretch them out, and now we'll just bring our right knee into our chest. Let's put our right arm out at a right angle onto the floor, and we're just going to roll our left knee over to the ground. Try and keep both shoulders on the ground, and then look over towards our right hand. This is such a beautiful stretch. It's something that I need to do every day. It stretches out that hip area and all down the side. So again, breathe into that space that it's created for you. Try and relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. You might feel a few little cracks in your spine as they realign. Okay, let's come back up. Use your core to roll up, and let's give that knee a little squeeze towards your right shoulder. Beautiful. And now we're just going to grab our left leg and squeeze it in. Put our left arm out at a right angle, and let's roll over towards our right side. And this time trying to keep our left shoulder on the ground, looking over towards our left hand. And feel that stretch all up that side of your body. Fantastic. Let's come back. Squeeze that left knee in one last time towards your left shoulder. Now we're going to stretch, take up as much space as you want. We're going into Shavasana or corpse pose. If you want to get a pillow under your head, have pillows under your knees if you've got some lower back problems. Even have your knees bent and maybe just have your knees together, feet apart, if that helps support your lower back. Please do whatever you need to do to be comfortable in this pose. I just want you to relax your feet. We're going to go through a conscious relaxation session while we're doing this. So curl up your toes, squeeze, 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 and relax. Flex your feet and relax. Tighten your calves and relax. Pull up your quads and relax. Tighten your buttocks and relax. Pull up through your pelvic floor, your Mula Bandha, and tighten your tummy at the same time.
push your lower back into the ground and relax. Push your upper back into the ground and relax. Squeeze your fingers in your hands and relax. Squeeze your whole hand, your whole arm, all the way up to your shoulder and relax. Tighten your shoulders and relax. I want you to squeeze your face together really, really tight and relax. I'm going to go through some mantras as you breathe and relax. I want you to repeat them to yourself as you're relaxing into Shavasana. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundant. The earth is giving me everything I need to fulfill my goals. The earth is giving me everything I need to fulfill my goals. The earth is giving me everything I need to fulfill my goals. I can relax and focus and concentrate on where I need to go. I can relax and concentrate on where I need to go. I can relax and concentrate on where I need to go. We're going to slowly wake up our bodies. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and stretch, stretch your hands over your head. Deep body stretch. And I just want you to slowly roll onto your left side and just be there for a second. And then come up to a sitting position, back in Sukhasana, nice and easy pose, nice and relaxed. And we're just going to do 3 Oms. So we're going to inhale
exhale. Next exhale will begin. Inhale. Om. 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 Thank you for joining my class today. I hope that you feel more like yourself, and I hope that you are in tune with where you need to be. Namaste.